Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I'm going to show you how I make my version, and I'm going to say this wrong, and I'm sure, Coddle, which is like an Irish potato and sausage stew. Last year, if you remember, I did a few Irish-inspired recipes for St. Patrick's Day lead up, and you guys loved it. And I asked you again on Instagram if you'd enjoy seeing that again. So many of you said yes, and you submitted the recipes that I should be making, and this was one of them. There were 4 that were the most requested out of I think 400 submissions, the ones that were like repeated. This was one of them, so I figured I'm going to share it with you, and it's really so easy and so simple. When it comes to like this dish, to me, it's really representative of how Italians cook as well, especially to stretch a buck. You throw potatoes with any kind of meat, you stew it low and slow, and you've got a delicious, comfort, beautiful meal that everyone's going to love. You're going to start off with some bacon because all good things we'll start off with some good fat, right? You're gonna take some bacon, and I'm just gonna give it a rough chop, and I add it to a cold pan. I always like cooking my bacon in a cold pan because it renders out the fat much better that way. Sorry, my olive oil bottle's in the way. It renders the fat out much better that way versus adding it to a hot pot and then the bacon crisps up really quickly and then it doesn't render all of the fat that it needs to render. So now that you have that done, you're going to go ahead and thinly slice an onion, and you're going to go ahead and chop up some potatoes. I've got some pork sausages sitting here, and then I'm going to also chop up some parsley and some garlic, and it's just so delicious. Bacon's nice and crisp, rendered out all of its fat. I actually transferred it to a different pot because the other one was just too small. I don't know what I was thinking, okay? I'm not quite sure what I was thinking. I'm gonna add my sausages. This is gonna get hot in just a second. By the way, I just transferred the bacon grease to this pot because I want that flavor. And I'm just gonna wait for the sausages to develop really beautiful color. I can hear that it's sizzling. I can hear it's starting to do really good things. I finally chopped up some onion. I've got some potatoes, and I like to cut them quite chunky, really rustic, like that, right? And then that way they're gonna just cook low and slow and be really delicious and beautiful, and just wonderful. Sausages are beautiful. There's a little bit more fat here that I want. Hold on, that's really hot. Let me grab my mapine. You see there's a bit more fat here that I would like, so I'm just gonna take a paper towel and just soak some of it up, okay? Beautiful. Now I'm gonna add a cipolla. We're gonna add the onions, and I want the onions to caramelize, develop really nice color before I add my garlic. Did I tell you I changed pot yet? I did. Add some garlic. The garlic only needs 30 seconds to a minute to bloom. And I don't like to add it with the onions ahead of time if I'm looking for the onions to develop good color, because by the time the onions develop good color, there's a high possibility that your garlic will be burnt. Now, I'm gonna deglaze my pan with a little Guinness. You don't have to. I like to, so I'm going to, but you don't have to. I do find that Guinness is sort of like in a lot of Irish recipes, which I love, I enjoy. So I'm gonna go ahead and add it. It does add like a nice depth of flavor, which I really like. And you need like a nice handful of fresh chopped parsley, because this fresh chopped parsley is like an ingredient in the whole thing. Add a little bit of your Guinness, not much, maybe half a cup, maybe a bit more. It smells fantastic. Oh yeah, now it's a party. Gonna add the potatoes right in, like so. Adding the bacon right in. You know that's gonna be beautiful and gorgeous. Your parsley, a little bit of salt. I grab my pepper in a bit. Mix all this around. Look how beautiful that is. You just know it's going to be gorgeous and delicious. I like to stir the potatoes with those yummy juices. Get your seared sausages back in here. And just cover this with some stock. I'm using beef stock, but you can use chicken if you like. Like that. A couple of cups. And I'm going to cover this, and I'm going to let this cook low and slow, about an hour and a half to 2 hours. I want the process to be low and slow. The potatoes will absorb all the flavor. The sausages will be really nice and tender. The flavor will be dynamite. Incredible. So let this go. When it's ready, I'll show you what it looks like. Now that looks quite delicious. Look at this. Look at that delicious, glossy goodness. You gotta just soak up that bread with some, soak up that sauce with some bread, maybe some Irish soda bread, whatever your heart desires. These potatoes, which I've already taste tested one, okay? Because you know me and Spuds, we're best friend. Put fresh parsley on top before you serve it. They have soaked up all of the flavor from the sauce and those bacon juices and stuff. Oh. The potato is so tender. The sausage is so tender. The sauce is so fantastic. That bacon is just next level. Hold on, because it's hot. I love it. There's nothing not to like. It's delicious. It's easy. It's good on the wallet. It can feed an army depending on how much of it you make. It's going to be just as easy to make for 4 than it is to make for 10. It's fantastic. Hope you enjoyed spending time with me because the recipe will be online at kitchen.com. I will see you in the next one. Bye.